Happy Friday Eve, everyone, and welcome to the June 27th, 2024 episode of CP Sports. As always, I'm your host, Chris, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mike.
What's up, guys? Morning to y'all.
It was good to see you again, Mike. I know you had some personal things going on. I don't want to air that out or anything, but
Yeah,
nice to see you once again.
Good to be back.
Now we get to talk. You know, we missed out on talking about both the finals because you weren't able to make it. So we're just gonna dip into that real quick. I know you want to say some things about Dallas and stuff. So I'm gonna start with the Stanley Cup since that was pretty much the most recent. Because I guess Edmonton heard me when I said the Oilers didn't look like contenders anymore. Yeah, they fell to 3-0 like we thought they would. But Edmonton put on a showcase with 3 dominant victories of their own, and Florida obtained their first Stanley Cup, as I said they would in Game 7. It was a thrilling roller coaster of a Stanley Cup finals for the books. Connor McDavid went away with the finals MVP, which Florida fans didn't really agree with, and they made it known, rightfully so, because there was some logical argument that Sergei Bobrovsky put on an MVP performance as well. Bobrovsky averaged 2.38 goals or allowed, and he also had 0.903 save percentage this postseason. But despite being held scoreless, Connor McDavid led the NHL in points with 42, which is 4th best in NHL history. He even set a playoff record with 34 assists this postseason. And when it was all said and done, Florida players like Playoff Bob, Matthew Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, Alexander Burkhoff, and Sam Reinhart hoisted the cup, and with just such joy and adulation, it just gave me chills, man. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I guess they got joy, but I think they're actually probably relieved too. They almost blew it right there, right?
Yeah,
they're like, whoa, my God, man.
Dodged a bullet on that
one. I mean, 3-0, you think, okay, no problem. Game 5, Game 6, oh dang, Game 7.
It's getting to the wire.
This is for real. But
I always thought, the Oilers were gonna make it a series, and I was kind of disappointed in them. But obviously, they came back and they gave NHL fans a run for their money.
Yeah, it was great. As far as McDavid winning the MVP, it's completely justified. I think the Conn Smythe Award is for performance in the entire playoffs, not just the finals. Yeah. So when you put it into that concept, I feel like he probably did deserve it, even though his team lost in Game 7. That doesn't.
He was held scoreless for, I believe, the 6th and 7th game as well.
Yeah, so I guess that's why they still gave it to him, because he just was the best player in the entirety of the playoffs. You don't see that very often. That's about MVP winning. Yeah. That loss, But I think the last time that happened in the NBA was Jerry West back in the 60s or 70s.
RP.
Yeah, for sure. That's what makes it interesting. I think the Conn Smythe Award in NHL is the only award that they give that has to do with the entirety of the playoffs, not just the NHL finals. It's special that way, but I think it's just another award that, at the end of the day, they really don't care about. They want that Stanley Cup, right? And what do they do? They eat cereal out of it, right? I've seen them do that before, right? Or they drink wine.
Hey, some Applejack, man.
What it is. But, I mean, 3-3, Game 7, you couldn't ask for a better ending.
Definitely. And, of course, we got to get into the NBA Finals. So this year it was Boston's time, like I thought they would be. And the Mavs will be back next year, I'm sure. But what will Dallas need to do to gain that second championship?
I mean, they got to play basketball. They didn't do that. I mean, Luka Doncic was playing 1-on-5 Kyrie Irving was too busy telling people the earth was flat again. I don't know what he was doing. 5 points in one half in the finals is unacceptable.
You're right.
Porzingis got hurt and he didn't play, and they still couldn't take advantage of that. That was their chance to like come back in the series. But when they lost Game 3, it was only a matter of time. After that, Game 4 was not even. Yeah, they blew them out, but come on, you think the Celtics were actually trying to win? If you think about it, they're all like they
wanted to win at home. That's what that was.
Win at home. While Jason Tatum practiced every celebration he saw on YouTube and copied every celebration he saw, and everything that he saw, he did. He was farming celebrations, and he did the Kevin Garnett one, he did the Kobe Bryant one, he did the Kanye West one, he did pretty much all of them. The only person that actually. Okay, I'm going back to the Mavericks. Let me go back to the Mavericks real quick. I'll go back to the Mavericks.
Hold on, before I forget.
It's obviously, Dallas, they weren't ready for the finals. Everyone said they should have lost to the Timberwolves, but the gameplay that they had was just a good matchup against the T-Wolves, which is why they, almost swept them. But, they weren't together that much. There were a lot of pieces that they added just this season at the trade deadline. So I think they're only going to get better. They're only going to, mesh better. Chemistry's going to rise. If Kyrie Irving continues to play at that level, he can't play against the Celtics. I don't know what the hell is going on with that guy. Doncic is only getting better. He needs to just stop carrying the team so much. He's played injured pretty much the whole playoffs. And that's a recipe for disaster if they continue that way. Luka's not going to have a good run later on if he just continue getting banged up like that. So I think they need more offense. They have the rebounders, but they need someone to turn to if Kyrie and Luka can't play. They have role players, but they need third options. There's a difference in that. Maybe sign a Klay Thompson, maybe sign a McCollum, maybe TJ McConnell.
I know you're telling me something about Klay. I guess Paul might be going to Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State's actually looking to try to sign Paul to a max contract too, which I don't know why, but
I mean he's already. I don't know. I wouldn't do it either.
He wouldn't mix well in Golden State offense to begin with. He's more of an ISO player. It's like, if they're gonna get Paul George, might as well try to get Kevin Durant back. I don't know what they're doing over there. If that's the case, if they offer George a max, I don't think they can keep Klay. Or I know his contract's up. He might be gone. I think he deserves a big contract somewhere else. He's already did what he had to do in Golden State, and maybe get some money now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Golden State. I feel like if they even do that, they're really gonna go on rebuilding because they didn't look much contenders this past postseason, and it was I'm pretty sure disappointing for Golden State fans around the world.
Oh yeah, I mean they lost in the play-in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Curry is still.
When was the last time they lost? I don't even think. When was the last time they were in the play-in and lost in the play-in?
I think it was the first time, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But let's get into the NBA draft. As we saw the draft yesterday, San Antonio fans were anxious to see who we were going to pick up and continue to make progress as they're in their rebuilding stage. With the fourth pick of the 2024 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select guard Stephon Castle out of UConn, which was an awesome pick. We needed a competitive defender with versatility who knows how to move the rock and draw in the foul if need be. They needed a guard, and he can put up points when it matters, but he does need to work on his perimeter shooting. He's a great welcome addition to the team, and I feel like a grade A pick. But then we got to the 8th pick.
Yeah, I don't know who made this call. I saw Duncan in the war room. Maybe it was Duncan. I don't know. But we got Rob Dillingham from Kentucky, 6'1" guard that is just an offensive threat, slasher, quick, can read the floor. We drafted him, And I swear, as soon as we drafted him, we traded him. And
he was gone.
I couldn't even celebrate properly.
We were trying to.
I was there, and then out of nowhere, we said to trade him. And it looked like I was celebrating the trade. That's how fast it was happening. So the Minnesota Timberwolves actually got Dillingham first, got a 2031 first-round draft pick and a 2030 first-round draft pick. So it looks like they're setting up to when he's 27, when he's 26, that they're going to have first-round draft picks for him when he's not even about to hit his prime, actually. So if they're setting up for the future, that's crazy. But I don't think we should have. I don't know if we should have got rid of Dillingham.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him in that mix, and I know he did want to come to the Spurs, which is unfortunate for him because can you imagine the news like, yes, I'm going to the team I wanted to go to, and then boom.
Yeah,
he gets traded.
That's the business right there. I mean, I guess we have a lot of guards. LaSalle's still with us.
That's
Maybe
true.
We didn't really need Dillingham. I just want to see who we're going to get today. I think we have the 35th pick in the second round.
Yes, we have both the 35th and the 48th picks today at 3 p.m. Central.
We're going to get Bronny James, which is going to lure LeBron James.
I would imagine he's just going to go to LA since he's only worked out with, who was it, LA and I think Orlando. Well, was it Orlando? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
I really don't know.
We'll have to see what happens there.
Though. We should have got
Yeah,
Edie.
you had been saying you wanted Edie, and
2.0.
Memphis ended up scooping him up in the next pick. So
almost. But yeah,
this close.
Exciting time to be a Spurs fan. I'm looking forward to Stefan Castle. The kingdom got the castle. So now we just gotta do things the right way now. Let's get it. I'm excited.
Houston, on the other hand, got Reed Shepherd, which was a pretty good pick from Kentucky as well. They picked before San Antonio did in the 8th pick. I think that was was that the 3rd pick or the 4th pick?
7th, I think.
7th, okay. It was before the 8th pick. I thought so. And which Houston fans should be ecstatic about. But whatever. What else was there? Oh yeah. OG Anunoby inked a major deal to return to New York as next year and 4 more years to come after being traded to the team at the start of the 2024 calendar year. Anunoby is said to sign a 5-year, $212.5 million contract per ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
I don't get it, dude. He's only going to play like half the season.
Oh, you can't say that. That's messed up.
Hey, Tom Thibodeau, that guy just runs his players into the ground, man. He's going to play 48 minutes a game, no rest. He's going to just be, by playoff time, he's going to be in the same position, banged up. And I don't know. He needs to change those minutes or something because he's just going to get hurt again. And they're paying him $200 million to sit on the bench if that's the case.
I mean, it is a possibility, and I see your concerns. I just hope he's 100% healthy because, I mean, if that was the case with him and what's his name? Dang it, it's right in my head.
Oh, Brunson?
Randall. If Randall's healthy too, you know, the Knicks would have went a lot further. But OG will be a part of a revamped New York lineup after the trade for Bridges Tuesday. That landed the Nets a few picks.
I like that guy.
And the Knicks, I was going to call them the Nets again, going to try and make a statement next year with those two. Plus, Jalen Brunson. Like I said, if Julius Randle is healthy, DiVincenzo is still there. And the newly drafted 6'8" Brent King, Stockholm, Daddy or something like that. Daddy, who played professionally in Germany last season. The Knicks are going to look scarier this year, I feel.
You know, Mikal Bridges, he's never missed a game since high school.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
And you know who's gonna break that streak? Tom Thibodeau. So he's gonna run that guy into the ground. He's gonna run into the ground, and he's gonna get hurt.
That's dead up, though.
Bridges ain't gonna be playing, and that streak gonna be broken. So hate to say it. I'll call it right now.
hate to say it. Another big contract that was signed was the Knicks, big rival in the Pacers, as Pascal Siakam signed a 4-year, $189.5 million maximum contract. The Pacers will now respectively have Halliburton and Siakam under contract through 2028 and 2029. Siakam still ranks as second in Pacers history under Tyrese Halliburton. Siakam averaged 21.3 points on 55% shooting and 39 from the three in 41 regular season games, I believe, upon arriving in Indiana. He became the third player to average 35 points and 10 rebounds in each of his first 2 playoff games, joining Elgin Baylor and Wilt Chamberlain. He scored 367 points in the 2024 playoffs, and that is the most for a Pacers player since Paul George in 2014, excuse me.
I like the Pacers, man. They had a chance to beat the Celtics too, man. Those close games that they had against them, they really could have maybe possibly won that series. But they're only getting better. They're a really young team. No one even expected them to be in the conference finals, and they were there. There's no way Celtics are going to be repeating because they're trash. So I know the Pacers, they have a good chance of making it to a further playoff deep run again.
Hey, yo, shout out to Matt, by the way. We're thinking of having you on the cast for an interview sometime. So just hit us up and let us know, man. It would be nice to talk to you again. It's been a while. I think the last time we talked was probably high school or so. So let us know.
Yeah, I want to know, how the business is going, how the projects are going, day in the life of this guy. So it sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, we will get into the boxing section, as we were talking about Gervonta Davis last time we talked, and we weren't able to reiterate, but Davis gave fans exactly what they wanted, as he went in with his patented left uppercut, followed by a booming left cross that sent Frank Martin crashing to the mat for the 10 in the 8th round. Now the question is, who will he take on next? Shakur Stevenson after this July 6th fight, or possibly Vasily Lomachenko?
It's got to be Lomachenko. Stevenson isn't ready yet. He's not going to be able to do anything. Lomachenko and Davis been wanting to fight each other. Gervonta respects his craft probably more than any other boxer he's faced. And I know Loma would love the opportunity to face Gervonta. That's fireworks. That's tickets. Like, blockbuster event right there. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that it happens sooner rather than later, though. Loma is getting a little old.
I can feel that, yeah.
Hopefully Gervonta doesn't wait for him to get a little older, but as long as he
it doesn't seem like it's like that recently. I mean, a lot of these what do you call them, dream matches are starting to happen in the boxing world recently, and it's getting really exciting. Like you said, I'm sure it's booming a lot more this year, but we'll have to see what happens. We also had David Benavidez on that same card, and he made his light heavyweight debut, and he was a co-feature, winning via unanimous decision after failing to get a shot at Canelo. Benavidez moved up and put on a clinic. He didn't have as much output as usual, but vastly improved on his defense and was more calculated. He outpointed his opponent every step of the way, Should he try to lobby for another shot at Canelo again, or wait to see if Bivol wins this October bout and go that route?
Yeah, it was his first fight in a new weight class, heavier weight class. You could tell he wasn't able to knock anyone down or finish anybody, but he was actually able to do the damage that he usually does and keep that same pace still. He looks like he still has the same stamina that he would have at 185, so that's really good to see. Did I say 185? 168. Now he probably a little higher than that. But I think he should just wait for Bivol and Beterbiev to fight, and if Benavidez takes on the winner of that, there's no way Canelo could say no after that. Because then,
yeah, you're right.
If he beats Bivol, he'd be like, "Hey, I beat Bivol, which is the guy that beat you." So we'll see that. We'll see.
That's a little something to throw on there and throw a little more fuel to the fire, and hopefully fans lobby for it more too.
I'm tired of Canelo, man. I don't even want to talk about that guy anymore. he just we're giving him clout every time I bring him up. Here we go, man. All right, talk about that guy.
Another boxing bout that happened while we were talking 2 weeks ago, Sonnen and Silva. It was a pretty uneventful fight that ended in a draw. Sonnen swears that he won the first 3 rounds, but he's not dwelling on their draw. Instead, Sonnen has turned his focus to George Masvidal, saying they'll box next, and going on to say, quote, "Masvidal is a little bit overrated in all fairness within his own mind. I can't remember the last time he won a fight. He gave me a treat," he said, quote, in Masvidal's quotes, "I won't even use my right hand. I'll put up that in the contract." And I'm like, okay, stupid. Put that in the contract. I didn't ask for that, but go ahead and put that in there. Then he talks about, "I'm going to pay you $10 million. Well, I didn't ask for $10 million, but then again, stupid. Put that in the contract. Just keep talking," end quote.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sonnen, he's old. They were having a little friendly competition between him and Silva. It didn't look that serious. The way Masvidal fights Diaz, I guess it's going to determine a lot if he can take on Sonnen after that. Just see where Masvidal's at in his fighting career. If he does well against Diaz, maybe. But if it doesn't look like he's doing that great and Diaz actually does better than him, Sonnen may have a chance. They're fun fights. I'll watch them. It's always fun to see Diaz. And Masvidal is actually a good character too, but Sonnen is hilarious when he does promos. So I want to see that part. That part's gonna be funny.
Yeah. So he also went on to say, quote, "There are some people you don't play with. There are some people you don't. Put me in that category of don't. Do not challenge me unless you want to fight me," end quote. So I mean, there's a little trash talk going there. I'm excited to see what happens. Other than that, Top Rank won the rights to Devin Haney and Sandor Martin for the WBC Junior Welterweight title with the purse bid of $2,420,000 from sources told ESPN. And it remains to be seen if Haney will proceed with the fight or vacate. His WBC title wasn't on the line against Ryan Garcia. And that bout also got overturned. Oy.
I can't believe that Haney cried and he cried and he cried, and they're all like, "Fine, we'll make it no contest. You'll get your 0 back. We'll take away the L. We'll suspend Garcia." And now, but now Haney's trying to sue Garcia for like mental health or something like that.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. So
it's ridiculous. Like Garcia is just still trolling Haney about it. Haney wants the zone to take away the fight completely off the library.
Oh dang! I didn't know about that. That's wild. They're trying to do the old Men in Black thing.
Yeah, taking away.
It never happened.
YouTube, take it off. The Zone already said no, but now he's talking to YouTube to take it off.
You gotta tell Haney, people don't forget.
I know. I saw that fight live. I'll never forget. I don't know. Haney just no one liked the route he went to get this done. It was just a bad taste for a lot of fans, and I think that it's really gonna hurt his legacy, his popularity. I don't think no one wants to watch him, not even lose anymore. But we'll see how that goes. He is gonna fight Sandor. I mean, that's what they're saying is gonna happen. But apparently Haney said he's gonna take a break from boxing too, and come back when Ryan Garcia's suspension is up and a rematch, which I doubt is gonna happen. I don't think he wants to fight Ryan again. I mean,
we'll have to wait and see. But elaborating further on Ryan's suspension, he's going to be suspended for an entire year and fined after testing positive for PEDs after reaching a settlement with the New York State Athletic Commission. And his April 20th decision, as you said, was overturned to a no contest. The disclosed payout of the fight is said to be $1.2 million and will be given up. And Garcia was also fined 10 G's. So during a phone interview with ESPN, Haney stated, quote, "The facts are the facts, and I wasn't on an even playing field. Happy I was able to receive justice for what happened. It's all been a part of my story, and it's only going to make it me better. I look to enjoy this time with my family and friends and see what's next," end quote. Well, we obviously know what should be next, but is he going to defend it or is he going to vacate? We'll have to wait and see. But former lightweight champion Julio Cesar Martinez faces the same fate after testing positive for 3 banned substances ahead of his fight back in March. And Martinez avoided a hearing, reaching an agreement with the Nevada Athletic State Commission. Martinez's punishment includes a 9-month suspension, retroactive to his March 30th win over Cordova, which will also be changed to a no contest, with a 15% fine of his $75,000 purse plus $154 and 4 cents in prosecution fees. Martinez must enroll in a drug testing program. If he completes it, he will be reinstated December 29th.
I didn't even know that happened. That sucks. Nah. Pretty sure he'll be all right. He'll probably come back. Yeah, all good.
Well, Daniel says he'll become the quote-unquote Kingslayer as he prepares to face off against Anthony Joshua in an all-British IBF heavyweight championship fight on September 21st at Wembley Stadium. 6 years after Joshua's Wembley debut, Joshua looks to become a 3-time champion while Daniel seeks his first title.
I don't see him winning against Anthony Joshua. Joshua is probably the best he's ever looked right now after losing to Usyk. He's bounced back, and I think he's probably going to face the winner of Fury and Usyk later. And this is just, I wouldn't say a tune-up fight, but it's just a fight to prove everyone that he is ready for that title shot. It's going to be a good fight, but I don't see Dubois doing much.
Yeah, so since you were talking Fury and Usyk, Usyk took to social media vacating the IBF crown. And he said as a quote, present to Joshua and Dubois. So that means Usyk, his rematch with Tyson Fury December 21st in Riyadh will not be for all 4 championships once again. Usyk, obviously the first undisputed heavyweight champion in the 4-belt era, and now no longer I guess kind of you can't say he's no longer undisputed because he just vacated it, I guess.
Yeah.
But we will see a classic British showdown with heightened implications now. So it's going to be an exciting bout, and it's a must tune in.
Definitely. It's going to be what, at 11 in the morning again? I ain't going to be up for
that, dude. I still try to catch it. Well, I mean, the main events take longer, so it's more or less like around 3 or so, sometimes 4. So it's not half as bad, but I am tired of those like really early shows. Even WWE is doing it, so it's like, can we just get some shows within the states that we don't have to wake up super early or like be up at a certain time, or when people aren't at work or whatever have you. But on the topic of Tyson, despite the delay of the highly anticipated bout between Iron Mike and Jake Paul, Paul kept the original July 20th date slated, so his training wouldn't go to waste. He will instead be fighting undefeated bare knuckle fighting championships platinum Mike Perry in an 8-round cruiserweight fight in the Amalie Arena in Tampa, which will be available on DAZN pay-per-view. So, what do you think about that one? It's a bit of a risk.
It's interesting. It's definitely something that Jake Paul could lose. You're facing a brawler, former UFC fighter, and
undefeated,
and Mike Perry. This guy throws bombs. He can take bombs. He'll keep coming at you. I think Jake Paul needs to box this guy and not get in some slugfest. That's exactly what Perry wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see just how Paul takes these shots from Perry. I don't even know how much the fight's fixed. Is it fixed? We don't know. Everyone says it's always fixed when Jake Paul fights. So
they do.
I don't know if this is one of those fights or not. I don't know if Perry's going to play by those rules. He's already making a lot of money at bare knuckle, but maybe they're going to pay him off. We'll see what happens. I would like to see Perry just go off on this guy for a little bit, but I think Jake Paul probably wins this in the decision. Yeah, he probably does.
Paul did say in a statement to ESPN, quote, when Paul versus Tyson was rescheduled, I knew immediately that I wanted to still fight on Saturday, July 20th. Now, as I prepare for my fight against Iron Mike, there is no better opponent for me than Mike Perry. He's a proven knockout artist who has shown to be a maniac in and out of the ring. This is a perfect experience for me to gain in advance of facing Mike Tyson, but getting that experience comes with the risk. Those who know me know I'm a risk taker, and while Platinum Perry might try to end me, I'm Titanium Jake Paul, and I fear no man, end quote.
Oh, God.
Hey, that was a pretty good one.
Terrible.
But should we be concerned? I mean, it like he said, it is a risk. It might hinder his upcoming fight with Tyson again. So who knows? Who's to say if we will ever see the Tyson and Paul fight? If it does come down to that.
I mean, I wanted to watch it, but now that they're delaying it, I don't even know anymore. Maybe Roy Jones could fight Jake Paul instead. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm hoping they do get that bout, and I mean, James said go Iron Mike. I hope so, but I doubt it, to be honest with you. We'll have to wait and see what happens, and that's not until, what was it, November that it got pushed off to?
Yeah, for now.
For now. A couple of fights we don't have to wait for, though. San Antonio's own Jesse Bam Rodriguez is set to fight this weekend, and that's not all. We also have Teofimo Lopez bout to look forward to.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an awesome doubleheader. Gonna have both fights on. Again, facing Teofimo, which is actually a threat. if Teo's not too careful. I know Teo, we don't know which one will show up, the one that beat Loma or the one that, lost to a nobody. Or, I mean, Cabosos. Same difference. But we'll see what happens. Teofimo, the one that beat Taylor, he looks incredible. I always look forward to watching his fights. He's a flashy, gives the fans what they want, and he puts the show on. As far as Bam, he's the best. Was it 115? 125? I forgot his weight is.
I think it's 125.
Best in the class. Representing San Antonio. I'm definitely a huge fan, and maybe one day he'll fight Inoue. He's probably almost there.
That would be nice. I would like to see that one.
That might happen if he just keeps winning. I think he wants to fight Inoue, if I'm not mistaken. Once he probably beats this guy at Estrada, I don't see anyone else that is trying to be on that level. And
Jesse Bam Estrada.
Oh yeah, this guy's a
I was just so
fusion.
Oh, that's great. But moving forward, we will get into the wrestling part. And before we get into the bloodline stuff, Sika Anawai of the Wild Samoans and father of Roman Reigns and the late Rosie, also 2007 WWE Hall of Famer, has passed, unfortunately. This makes you wonder if Roman is going to take a little more time off, or what's going to go on with the bloodline story moving forward. But the biggest story out of the bloodline was this past Friday, the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu finally showed up.
Yeah, that was I didn't expect it to happen on SmackDown, but the way that he was introduced to make it look like he was unstoppable, taking out all three of Orton, Yayo, and Cody in dominant fashion. I thought it was the best way to do it. Show him that he's a monster, and they're going to need a lot of firepower.
That's exactly what he is. He is a monster.
Yeah. This guy splashing on Cody through the table in his first.
Oh, I know that splash was awesome. That was a vicious splash.
It was good, man.
It was nice to see him in a WWE ring for once, and he lost quite a bit of weight, it seemed. I remember when he was at MLW champion, he was a lot more heavy set than that.
Oh yeah, he's only gonna probably look better, get better. The training facilities at WWE is, state of the art. He's only gonna get better now, and now that he's around Paul Heyman too, I think that he's gonna flourish. It might steal the spotlight from Solo.
I mean, I'm thinking so too, but I know I told you about my theory of what might happen, and that would be, Fatu along with The Rock and the Gorillas of Destiny against the Usos, Solo, and Roman. So hopefully that does come to fruition. I don't know exactly how they'll go about it, especially with The Rock being injured from filming his last film that he's doing right now. We'll have to just wait and see, I guess. I hate saying that, but it's true. And, you brought up Paul Heyman. Speaking of Pauls, you're going to see Jake Paul and LA Knight duke it out for the U.S. Championship.
Logan Paul.
Or, yeah, Logan. See, we were talking about Jake. Messed me up. But yeah, Logan Paul.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step out real quick. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back, man.
Bet. All right, so we will see the Logan Paul and LA Knight face off. It's at Money in the Bank. So I'm excited to see this one. I'm thinking Logan Paul should be the one, or not Logan Paul. LA Knight should be the one to go over, especially with how huge he is right now, the pops he gets. I said in the last one that the pops haven't been as loud, but in Chicago that wasn't the case on Friday, and hopefully LA Knight finally gets his gold in WWE I've always been a fan of Knight since he was Eli Drake in NWA and TNA and all that. So I'm really a big proprietor of LA Knight, and I'm excited to see this bout and see who ends up the U.S. champ. I'm hoping it's LA Knight, but Logan Paul is always a good choice too for just for casual viewers and casual fans alike. So Logan Paul and LA Knight, I feel like, is one of the must-see matches of the Money in the Bank, and of course, the Money in the Bank itself is a must-see.
I don't know, man. Not just like now. LA Knight, he's money everywhere he goes. I think it's good for Logan and LA. They're both getting some spotlight. LA's getting a title shot.
I'm thinking, if anything, this is the best time for LA to go over.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to put the title on him. Finally, give him a singles title, a singles run like that. Unless they're just gonna bury him. Maybe
I doubt it.
I mean, he's too over, right? So
yeah, he's way too over. They would be stupid to make that decision. So I would say give him the title. But speaking of titles, the women's world champion Liv Morgan has infiltrated the Judgment Day this past Monday on Raw. We saw where she was able to get JD McDonough and Finn Balor a tag team championship match in which she helped them win. And later he came out and celebrated with them, lifting her championship in the air. And I don't think Mommy's going to be too happy about that one.
Well, Mommy's not there. So I think Finn Balor and JD didn't even mind when Liv joined them when they were celebrating.
I mean, they did shrug their shoulders and lifted their championships. So
they were just like, oh, all right, that's what it's going to be.
Well, as long as we got gold. So I think that's the way Liv's trying to infiltrate the Judgment Day. She's trying to get everybody a title, you know, make it seem like, oh, I'm the new mommy now type deal. So I'm loving this whole thing from Liv. I'm loving the way she's going about it and selling it, especially even on social media. It's just great all around. Rhea's return apparently is imminent, though, as Fightful Select has reported. Sources indicated they have things constructed so that Rhea can slide in and return to the program whenever she's ready. She may return in a non-wrestling capacity if she is needed. And Fightful also hasn't been told whether there will be any active or creative plans in order, or if the company has inquired with Ripley, but they hope she will be on screen in some capacity ahead of SummerSlam if all goes well.
I don't know, man. If she's gonna be on screen, I mean, she has to get physical with Morgan, right? Like, I don't see it not happening where they don't have an altercation when she comes back because, you know, she's still recovering. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe they do it in a way that it'll work, but if she's on Raw while Liv's on Raw, I don't see them not fighting. They gotta fight, right? But that's just me. I like this storyline. It's interesting to see where it's going.
I can't wait to see Rhea return and see what they do with this.
Damien seems like the only faithful, loyal one now. Maybe he leaves. We'll see what happens.
I mean, he might leave. He's going to be going against the returning Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. And, of course, you know, Gunther is also in the World Heavyweight title picture with the victory he got at, what is it called? King of the Ring, when he became King of the Ring. But in this World Heavyweight Championship match, it has some different kind of implications. If Rollins loses, he's not going to get another title shot. And if Priest loses, he must leave the Judgment Day.
I mean, I guess you really don't know what's going to happen on that one.
That one's a toss in the air, I feel like.
But I'm pretty sure Damien's going to win.
You think they're going to do that to Rollins where he can't challenge for the title no more? I don't see.
Only until Priest loses it. I'm pretty sure Rollins will get back in the mix after that.
True, because it could be like, oh, you can't have the title while I have it.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? No, I don't know.
It might have been.
Yeah, but it's something to look forward to, though. I don't like Rollins that much. Like,
You used to love brawling.
In the title spotlight, I mean, he's already got like, dude, like go away, go do something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did go away, but it wasn't that long. He was back like before we knew it, and everybody was happy. So I guess just getting that pop alone, he might be back at a bigger capacity now. But we'll also see the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which consists of right now Io Sky, Chelsea Green, and Lyra Valkyria, and there's still 3 yet to be determined. And I believe tomorrow they'll have a couple matches to qualify for that as well.
That's looking exciting. I don't know who's gonna win that one.
The Money in the Bank is set to go down. I believe, is it July 6th? I think it's next Saturday. But we'll also see the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which only has two people that are yet to be determined. With right now Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and Chad Gable. So of course Chad Gable did come back. He qualified for his spot. They stole the whole fake blood thing on his temple or whatever that Uncle
Dude,
Howdy.
That guy died.
And he was back within a week.
He came back. Man.
You know what? I'm the new Undertaker.
Yeah, that's crazy. I like what they're doing with Gable though.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't take that spot away from him, because Gable deserves to be in that spot. And he did get interrupted after he was winning. After he won on Monday by Nikki Cross, who is believed to be Abby the Witch from the Firefly Funhouse, who didn't do anything to Gable, but she did give Michael Cole a package in which he opened, and it just had a VHS tape that said "Play Me," which was Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas talking, and I gotta say, this one grabbed me from the start. Like I was just my full attention towards the screen, and it just felt like another good Bray-esque vignette where those two sides of Bo are fighting with each other.
Yeah, for the new people, a VHS back in the day was like a little cassette tape. I think Cole had to explain
VCR player.
Cole had to explain that. I think like a little bit about what it was. I'm surprised they found a VCR to play it. That was pretty fun. But yeah, that promo between Uncle Howdy and Bo was top notch. It was great. I liked it.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, I'm sure it's on WWE's YouTube page. I would recommend you go check it out if you're into the whole Bray Wyatt lore and all that stuff. We'll also see the WWE Intercontinental Championship be defended by Sami Zayn against Braun Breaker, which I'm pretty sure Braun Breaker is going to end up the new Intercontinental Champion.
It'd be no way like to just stop him in his run and just he loses and that's it. Like, what? I mean, if anything, Sammy will probably get disqualified by interference, maybe by somebody. Ricochet comes back, maybe. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking Breaker is going to win it, and Ricochet is going to come back and go after the Intercontinental Championship. I feel like that's the best way to go about it, rather than Ricochet coming and interfering. But that could happen, especially because, him and Sami Zayn are, in good spirits together. So we'll see what happens at Money in the Bank. There'll also be Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. And I don't know if it's going to be solo or not, or if it'll be Jacob Fatu and the Gorillas of Destiny. We'll have to wait and see. Triple H did take to the Pat McAfee show, what was it, a couple days ago, and he talked about the move to Netflix, how when you watch it on Fox right now, whenever there's any cuss words or anything said, or the fans are like holy shiz, they end up just muting the audio. They don't beep it, nothing. The audio is muted. If there's some obscene gestures, a finger thrown in the crowd, the screen goes black. Well, we're not going to have to worry about that once they move to Netflix, because Triple H, or Paul Levesque, I guess you should call him these days, as he's, in the office anymore. says that once they move to Netflix, they're going to be uncensored. There's not going to be anything blurred out, beeped out, things of that nature. Hopefully they bring back more real blood rather than the fake blood they've been using, because I'm not that big of a fan of the whole fake blood thing. But it's nice to know that they're kind of straying away from the PG era. They're catering more to older fans, but also still trying to keep that younger fan base at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably a work in progress, but I think they're really leaning to it slowly each week, getting a little bit more, I guess, for the higher age demographics. You can tell that they're trying to make it more mature little by little.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it.
Yeah, all realism is what they're looking to get into, aside from, of course, the howdy stuff, because that can't be realistic, but it's still intriguing and interesting, and things are just booming for the business right now. And also we saw Shayna Baszler in Bloodsport not that long ago. Well, Josh Barnett posted on X, quote, for her, the debut in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport was not that, but in fact, her stepping into the ring she was forged from. That has made her champion in MMA and pro wrestling. This July, she returns to her birthplace to once again reign in blood and glory. The Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, returns to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. So she will be back in Bloodsport, which I believe is another July one. I meant to write it down here, but it looks like I didn't. But if you have Triller TV, well, I mean, you don't have to have it as long as you have the app. You could always order that pay-per-view. So just take a look on there, and it should be there for order already, for pre-order. So I'm excited to see her back in Bloodsport. I'm probably gonna end up ordering it because I love the Bloodsport shows, and this is great news for WWE. They continue to work with other companies. They're continuing to further their reach and further other companies' reaches as well.
Yeah, it's a win for everybody. These partnerships are something that should have been done a long time ago. I'm just glad that it's finally happening.
Yeah, I'm happy too, and they, as you said, they're working with the multiple promotions. Well, TNA Wrestling had to add additional seats for their July 20th and 21st shows, with Slammiversary on the 20th and on the 21st their taped weekly show. Due to an overwhelming response to the two TNA Wrestling shows in Montreal, the company officials confirmed that the seating to both shows is being increased on Saturday and Sunday, July 20th and 21st. And it's been explained that there are more prime seats now available, and they're returning to Montreal, Quebec, Canada for the first time since 2011, and TNA is now setting company records and is expected to have a sold-out crowd on that Saturday. So lots of things booming for them too. As we said, they're bringing eyes more eyes to their product. They're bringing eyes to other products as well.
AJ Styles coming. He's gonna be there. Watch out.
I want to see it. After you mentioned it that other time, I really hope he does cross over to TNA for like one last TNA match before he does retire. Moose as will be defending his TNA World Heavyweight strap in a 6-way match at Slammiversary, but so far we only have the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, who was qualified for the match, and there are still 4 yet to be determined. Tonight we'll see Nick Nemeth take on Rich Homie Swan, and Steve Macklin versus Sami Callihan in Road to Slammiversary qualifiers to determine those final 4 spots. We also have X Division champ Mustafa Ali is also said to hold a State of the Union address tonight, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Nice.
As for my AEW peeps, their pay-per-view archive is now available on Triller TV with standalone pay-per-views and bundles. Right now, they're offering All Out and AEW 2019 pay-per-view pack, which will feature All In 2018, which was pretty much the inception of AEW. Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear, and 2 specials in Fighter Fest and Fight for the Fallen. There will also be an AEW 2020 pay-per-view pack, a 2021 pay-per-view pack, a 2022, and 2023. But speaking of AEW, Medusa, who is also known as Alondra Blaze, recalled a training session when she was working with AEW, which left her pretty disappointed. She was there for a couple days, and Dustin Rhodes, the former Goldust, was training the women. When he asked if Medusa wanted to come and help train, she was more than happy to oblige and help train those women. She said, quote, "I think the best thing is that the kids are here, and the ones that aren't in the ring training, that the best way to learn is actually to sit outside the ring and watch and listen, right? Like let me see, hold on, right?" And sorry, because she said right, so that threw me off. And he's like, of course he gets it. And so we're getting ready to start, and I'm like, "Where's everybody?" And he's like, "Well, it's voluntary." And I'm like, "So it's effing free? You got Dustin effing Rhodes training the girls. Where are they? Why aren't they here?" And I was like a little baffled. And he's like, "It's the kids, what am I going to say? It's the kids, the new kids of today." And I'm like, "Well, okay." She went on, talking about how there was no direction for most of the women in that company, and how that training should have been mandatory.
Dang, that's harsh. But if it's the truth, man, they gotta do something about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this was a while back, so hopefully they got the hint and are more intuitive and more productive than counterproductive in a sense. Medusa did go on to say, quote, "The next day I saw some of the girls and they walked out, and I'm like, oh my God, how are you?" They were like, "Hi, nice to meet you, Medusa." I said, "Great." I said, "We had practice yesterday. We have it now." I said, "Are you coming?" She turned me down, and I said, "Practice? I don't have to go." She said, What do you mean you don't have to go to school? I'm on the injured list." And I looked at her, and she had her makeup all done. She was walking just fine. Everything was fine, but sometimes internally you just don't know. She goes, "Yeah, I have a doctor. I don't need to go. I don't have to practice." And I say, "Well, you look great to me." I said, "Why can't you sit outside the ring and learn something?" She goes, "It's voluntary, and I don't need to show." I'm not saying this person's name for a reason, because I'll probably mention it later in another episode. So some bad, I guess you could call it bad news from the AEW women's roster. I mean, you would think someone like Medusa, who's been in the business for this many years, she was a trailblazer. Alondra Blaze, get it? Anyways, she was a trailblazer of that generation, and you would figure that these women want to learn more and more from her. And this goes to show, the immaturity that was in AEW in the beginning, and hopefully that starts to, weed itself out, because they are starting to get rid of more talent that, they didn't really use. They signed a whole bunch of talent, and they were just there. So hopefully these things are getting ironed out, and they're ironing out all these wrinkles. They're not, dealing with people like that anymore. I feel like any wrestler would want to go and learn, even from Medusa, even if it was the Mellows, and from Dustin Rhodes of all people. So,
right.
It's sad to see that that's how her experience with the AEW went down, but hopefully, you know, they fix that in these coming years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But other than that, I guess this is all we have for you guys today. And you know, we hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. We got, you know, the 4th of July coming up, so y'all, I hope y'all have a wonderful 4th of July. I don't know, we should be able to run a show before the 4th of July, right?
Oh yeah, definitely gotta talk about something. It's like the little, it's that little, the part where there's no sports going on. I think just baseball's gonna be happening.
And then we'll just find some stories.
Yeah.
But
we'll get y'all.
Yeah, we will see you guys next week, and we appreciate all of you for all your support. And we hope to see you next week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and y'all stay safe.
Later, y'all take care.